Okay, got cut off on the video. Answers to exam quiz 5. So we are here at the end of the last JavaScript question asking about looking for one string inside of another. And so if we have here this part, program should print the first part of the first string up to a comma. So this is the first string, S1. We look for a comma. This I will be -1 if there is no comma. So what should we do? You could print the whole string, or you could print nothing, or you could print no comma. It wasn't really specified, so any of those would have been fine. So that would be it. Alright, I believe that was the answers to quiz 5. Now let's take a look at exam 2. Again, people got different questions, and this is a list of all of the questions, or most of them. We'll just go through and give the answers, not really going to give explanations for most of it. Alright, operator for each of these. String concatenation is plus, division, slash, subtraction, minus, boolean not, exclamation point, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, remainder is the %sign, pronounced mod in programming, boolean and, 2 ampersands, testing equality equal, double equal, boolean or, 2 bars, less than, multiplication, addition, not equal to, and greater than. That would be all of those. What is the data type? Data type of the math.pow gives you a number, 2 plus 5, so we have to actually do this to see what it gives. So that is actually a string. That if you add a number in a string without converting the string, it actually gives you a string. So the correct answer there is string. True is a Boolean value. A string and then a substring out of a slice is still a string. We have a string, but we parse float. It gives a number. False in quotes is a string. Anything inside of quotes is a string. Another slice is a string. Process at argv.length. This is an array, and .length gives us a number. Index of gives a number. That's the index of the location of the first H. 3.4 plus 3 is a number. Argv bracket 2. The arguments are kept as strings. Even if you typed a number, it's kept as a string until you convert it. Square root gives a number. Okay, if you don't like any of those, then you should go over and test it yourself in the node. Just run node and try it out and see what you get. Punctuation, escape for new line inside of a string, you type /n, beginning and end of if, beginning and end of function, separating parameters, comma, end of statement is semicolon, string constant, double single quotes, or double quotes with whatever you want to type in between. Comments, single line or multiple line. Order of operations is with parenthesis. Brief description, I will skip. Did these on the last on quiz 5. Evaluate these. Some of these are different, so we'll do them. There was a mistake there. 0 up to 4, we're starting at the beginning and doing 4 characters, so that's what. Index of A, this would be the first A. Is it index 1? Index of this is -1. This doesn't occur in there. Parse int takes the integer part of this. 2 lowercase, how much? Non-letters are left alone, so the space and the question mark. 2 lowercase here is high. Slice 4 to the end, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 would be much question mark. what is it? And we replace the first space with a vertical bar. So what vertical bar is it? Y char at 2, 0, 1, 2, so that would be a Y. Char code at 0, the ASCII code for A is 97. Char code at 1, that's the ASCII code of capital A, 65. To uppercase, high. How much length? There's 4, it looks like 9. 100 to fixed is 2 decimal points, 2 decimal places after the decimal point. To fixed 1 would be 3.1. To uppercase, how much? What do these things evaluate to? I wanted the actual value. If you just said what it does, that would be wrong. 3.2 is 6.4, but then we round it to 6. 1 times 2, 1 is not okay, typed out there, so this would be not a number. Floor, 4.8 plus 1, the floor of that is 5. Minimum here is 0. 123 times 2, it converts the 123, this is 246. The ceiling, we do 5.8, but round it up to 6. 1 plus 2, this gives a string 1, 2. We did that in the up above. Square root of 81 is 9. Infinity, this is bigger than the maximum allowed. 2.7270. Round 4.8 plus 1, 5.8 rounds up to 6. 10 squared is 100. Ceiling of 3.2 times 2, 6.4. Ceiling is 7. 2, 0 and a hex is the value 32. 1 plus 2, that's a string. It'll be the 1 plus and then 2 as a string. Max here is 1000 again, same as the quiz. Floor of 3.2 times 2 is 6. Alright, that's the end, and then we have the programs. People got slightly different questions on the programs. I'll just type here for whatever this one was. So here we're supposed to take one command line argument. So we have the usual process.argv.length. If it's not large enough, then we exit and have a print statement with the console there. Otherwise, we're getting the first argument is at index 2, and then we want to test if it's 4 while, do it like this, and I would have a console.log inside of each of these, console.log for whatever, some description of a 4, and while, and so on. And then we could do it, it would be acceptable to do this as they're supposed to type exactly for while and whatever the other options were up there, and then eventually you would have an else that says console.log I don't understand. Okay, so that would be fine, like that. Or some other people did it a little bit differently, so var found equals false. And you could say, instead of testing for exact equals, you could say dot index of. If you look for it and you find it, then you do that, and you would do this for each of these. Found equals true. So if s.index of this is greater than or equal to 0, I'd have a console.log and I'd have a found equals true. And I would go through each of those, and down here I would say if not found. So if I did it like this, you could pause the screen for a second, and I typed node, whatever this thing was called, program.js for a while if do, or something like that. Okay, so then I would see multiple ones, because if you have quotes on the command line, that treats this as one argument, and then it'd be testing to see is there a for, a while, and if inside of there. Either way would have been fine on this one because I wasn't specific enough to say which way you should do it. Okay, so if you want to look at that, then you should pause for a second. The second one was people had slightly different things here, but there were going to be 4 numbers, and you do a for loop for each of those. I'll give you one way to do this. I'll skip the checking if process.argv.length. That's the same as always. Then we're going to get 4 arguments here. I'll say I1 equals parse int process.argv bracket 2. So there's different ways to do this. There's a way to do this with slightly shorter code, but this is an easy way in terms of understanding it. Okay, so then we have our 4 numbers. And then I'm going to do star, for this person, it was asked star dash underscore dot. Okay, so for the store, for var I equals 0, I is less than I1, I plus plus. So inside of here, I want to build up some stars. So I'd have var s equals empty, and then here I'd have s plus equals star. Console.log s. Alright, so that would take care of doing the stars. And then I would just copy and paste this. And for the dash, then we're going to do a dash inside of here instead of a star each time, and we'll go up to I2 instead of I1. Alright, and then you would also copy and paste this 2 more times to do the underscore and the dot. That's one way to do it. If you like that way, you could pause. And here's another way to do it. So we could have made a function, make line, and I would have how many, and the, I don't know, thing to repeat. So it would be just like this. Except we take these as whatever we're going to repeat as a parameter and how many is a parameter. Okay, so if I do that, then I could do console.log make line, how many I want to do is I1, and for that one I'm going to do a star. So this is a case where if you're going to do the same thing multiple times, then you should make a function. Okay, so which is better, copying and pasting this or making a function and then calling it 4 times? Probably this is more elegant. And we could even go further in terms of abstracting out this process of here I did copy and paste something 4 times, and here I did copy and paste something 4 times, so I could go more abstract, but we'll leave it at that. Okay, so I believe that is the exam. There it is. The end.